In a quiet neighborhood, lived Karen, a woman known for her strong opinions and determination. Recently, her neighbor built a tall privacy fence, intending to create a comfortable space in their backyard. The fence was made of sturdy wood, standing 10 feet high, with a rich brown finish that blended nicely with the surroundings. For most neighbors, it was a welcome addition that added warmth and intimacy to the area, but for Karen, it quickly became a source of frustration. From her kitchen window, Karen stared at the new fence, feeling that it blocked her picturesque view of the sunset. To her, those vibrant colors were a daily retreat after long hours at work. With a heavy sigh, she decided to confront her neighbor about it. She knocked on their door and expressed her concerns about the height and how it violated their community's height restrictions. Despite her neighbor's calm reassurance that the fence followed all regulations, Karen was not convinced. Her mind made up, she reached out to the Homeowners Association, HOA, eager to have them step in. While waiting for a ruling from the HOA, she couldn't shake off the feeling that something needed to be done. Little did she know, her actions would soon lead to unexpected consequences that would change her relationship with the community forever. Karen couldn't shake the annoyance that bubbled inside her. The beautiful sunsets she cherished were now hidden behind the tall fence, and it felt as if her peaceful evenings had been stolen. She believed the fence's height went beyond the regulations set by the HOA and thought it was unfair for her neighbor to disrupt her view without consequence. Gathering her thoughts, she devised a plan to confront her neighbor once more. Determined, Karen approached her neighbor's front porch with a mix of resolve and frustration. "I need to talk to you about that fence," she started, trying to keep her voice steady. "It's blocking my view, and I think it's too tall according to the HOA rules." Her neighbor listened patiently but explained that they had checked with the HOA before building it and had received approval. This only added fuel to Karen's fire. Feeling unheard, Karen decided to take further action. She drafted a formal complaint and submitted it to the HOA, outlining her concerns about both the view obstruction and the height restrictions she believed had been violated. Days turned into weeks as Karen anxiously awaited a response, convinced that she was in the right. Little did she know that her efforts would soon lead to unusual developments that would turn her situation upside down. Her pursuit of justice would soon take a surprising twist, ultimately changing how she interacted with her neighbors forever. After submitting her complaint to the HOA, Karen felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Each day that passed felt like an eternity, heightening her frustration. She frequently checked her email and mailbox, hoping for any sign of a response. While she was glued to her phone, scrolling through community chat messages, it almost felt like waiting for a ruling in a courtroom. Instead of excitement, each new notification felt like more disappointment. During this time, Karen became increasingly consumed by thoughts of the fence. It wasn't just about the privacy barrier, it was about what she saw as unfair treatment and the principle of the matter. Despite trying to focus on other tasks, her mind always drifted back to the fence blocking her view. The vibrant evenings she once enjoyed now seemed muted and gray in comparison. She often spoke to friends, sharing her frustrations and seeking validation. Some offered their support, while others suggested she let it go. But for Karen, this felt personal. Her complaints became almost a badge of honor among her close circle, validating her determination. As she waited for a response from the HOA, a sense of impending chaos stirred within the community, one that she didn't even realize was brewing. The tension created by the fence controversy was just beginning to escalate, setting the stage for an unexpected turn of events that would soon make headlines in their quiet neighborhood. In the midst of Karen's mounting frustration, her neighbor decided to install a trail camera in their yard. This camera was set up to monitor any unusual activities around the property, especially with all the recent discussions about the fence. It was an innocuous-looking device hidden among the trees, and its purpose was to capture any potential trespassers or disturbances. Little did they know that it would soon catch something very unexpected. One afternoon, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, the camera activated, capturing Karen's silhouette moving stealthily across the grass. She had snuck into her neighbor's yard, clearly attempting to get a closer look at the fence that had been bothering her. Unbeknownst to her, each moment she spent peering over the barrier and taking pictures was being recorded. The footage revealed Karen leaning against the fence, holding her phone high above her head to get just the right angle. When her neighbors reviewed the footage later that evening, they were taken aback. It was both surprising and somewhat amusing to see Karen so focused on documenting the fence while openly invading their privacy. As this video made its way into the community group chat, reactions poured in from neighbors who were shocked but also entertained. This unexpected turn not only added fuel to the ongoing tension but also shifted perceptions of Karen within the neighborhood, setting off a series of events that would soon spiral out of control. The footage captured by the trail camera was both revealing and eyebrow-raising. As the video played in the community group chat, neighbors leaned in closer to their screens, intrigued by what they saw. Karen was clearly visible peering over the tall privacy fence, her phone held high as she tried to snap pictures of the structure that had caused her so much distress. Her focused expression suggested a mix of determination and frustration, leaving viewers pondering her intentions. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow around her, Karen seemed oblivious to the fact that she was being recorded. She shifted positions frequently, trying to find the best angle, adding an almost comical element to the scene. Some neighbors chuckled at her antics, while others exchanged stunned glances as they processed the sight of their once quiet neighbor so engrossed in a quest over something that had stirred such controversy. Questions were raised later during discussions. Why would she go to such lengths to document the fence? Was it simply a matter of principle for her? Or was there something more personal behind her behavior? The footage struck a chord with many residents who couldn't help but feel a mixture of sympathy and disbelief towards Karen's desperate attempts at reclaiming her view. As comments flooded in beneath the video link, support and humor intertwined, changing how neighbors interacted with Karen and each other going forward. This unexpected turn would further deepen the rift between her and those around her. As the trail camera footage made its way into the community group chat, reactions poured in from neighbors, sparking a whirlwind of discussions. At first, laughter echoed through the messages as people shared their disbelief and amusement at Karen's antics. "Can you believe this?" one neighbor wrote, along with a laughing emoji, as others chimed in with similar sentiments. The video had transformed into a hot topic that everyone wanted to discuss, creating a buzz that filled the digital space. However, beneath the laughter lay a more complex web of opinions. Some viewers expressed sympathy for Karen, arguing that she was merely trying to reclaim her view and make her voice heard. "She just wants her sunset back," one commenter noted, prompting others to consider her perspective. Meanwhile, others felt that her actions were invasive and inappropriate. "This is crossing the line," another neighbor remarked, questioning why she would invade someone else's property like this. As conversations unfolded, a split emerged within the group. Friendships were tested as neighbors began to take sides, those who supported Karen's right to complain versus those who felt she should respect boundaries. This division added an unexpected layer of tension to the neighborhood dynamics, leading some residents to reevaluate their relationships with both Karen and her neighbor. The chatter about Karen's misadventure not only entertained but also forced residents to examine their views on privacy and community standards, ultimately shaping the atmosphere of their once peaceful neighborhood in unforeseen ways. After weeks of waiting, the Homeowners Association finally convened to discuss Karen's complaint regarding her neighbor's fence. The board gathered to review the situation thoroughly, considering both Karen's claims and the evidence presented by her neighbor. They examined the proposed height restrictions in their bylaws and compared them to the measurements of the newly constructed fence. During their discussions, board members evaluated the intentions behind the fence. They acknowledged that the neighbor had built it for privacy, a common request among residents seeking to create comfortable outdoor spaces. Observing that the fence not only complied with HOA regulations but also enhanced the overall look of the neighborhood, they leaned towards a favorable ruling. The board also took into account the trail camera footage that had circulated among community members. While some found Karen's behavior amusing, others highlighted that she had stepped onto her neighbor's property without permission, raising questions about respect for boundaries. Ultimately, this invasive act weighed heavily on their decision. In their final ruling, the HOA unanimously decided to uphold the construction of the fence and officially dismissed Karen's complaint. They reiterated that it adhered to all regulations set forth in their guidelines. To enforce community harmony, they also imposed a ban on Karen from stepping foot on any neighboring property without explicit permission. This decision left many in the community divided but reinforced a sense of order within their neighborhood as they navigated this unexpected conflict. The HOA's ruling brought significant consequences for Karen, changing her standing in the community. Banned from stepping foot on neighboring properties without permission, she found herself feeling isolated and increasingly frustrated. This ban not only affected her ability to address her concerns directly with her neighbors but also left her feeling unwelcome and ostracized. As word of the HOA's decision spread, whispers filled the air at community gatherings, and the dynamic shifted. Where Karen once mingled with neighbors, she now felt a guarded distance. Families who had previously chatted with her at barbecues seemed to avoid eye contact, unsure of how to engage with someone under such scrutiny. The laughter and camaraderie she'd enjoyed turned into whispered conversations behind her back. The ban also fueled Karen's sense of injustice. She felt misunderstood and unjustly punished for seeking what she believed was her rightful view. With every glance toward her neighbor's fence, bitterness grew. Her obsession with reclaiming her view morphed into resentment towards those she once considered friends. As time went on, some neighbors attempted to reach out, expressing concern for how she was handling the situation. However, their conversations often felt strained, as Karen struggled to accept the reality of her actions and their fallout. This division revealed a deeper rift within the community, a reminder of how quickly relationships can change when a dispute escalates. In this transformed environment, trust and understanding began to erode, leaving a lingering tension that would take time to heal. In the aftermath of the HOA's ruling and the fallout from Karen's actions, both she and her neighbors began to reflect on the lessons learned from this experience. For Karen, the harsh reality of being banned from stepping onto other people's properties served as a wake-up call. She realized that her desire for a picturesque view had led her down a path that strained relationships and created unnecessary conflict within the community. This period of isolation prompted her to reconsider how she approached grievances, acknowledging that respect for boundaries is essential in maintaining positive relationships. On the other hand, the neighbors also recognized the importance of understanding and communication. Many of them had initially dismissed Karen's frustrations but came to see how important it was to listen openly to one another's concerns. They learned that community rules, while sometimes cumbersome, were put in place to foster harmony and protect individual rights. As discussions about privacy and community standards continued among residents, an unspoken agreement formed that emphasized collaboration over confrontation. Neighbors began to engage in open dialogues about property boundaries and personal space, sharing their perspectives in ways they had not before. Ultimately, this experience encouraged all involved to practice empathy and patience, fostering an environment where conflicts could be resolved peacefully rather than escalating into public disputes. The journey may have been difficult, but it resulted in a renewed commitment to respect both privacy and community guidelines, a lesson that would shape their neighborhood for years to come. In conclusion, the conflict surrounding Karen and her neighbor's privacy fence served as a pivotal moment for the entire community. What began as a personal grievance evolved into a larger discussion about boundaries, respect, and the importance of communication. Karen's initial frustration led her to take actions that not only strained her relationship with her neighbor but also altered how she was perceived by others in the neighborhood. The trail camera footage became a catalyst for change, revealing not just Karen's intentions but also highlighting the need for understanding among neighbors. While laughter and criticism filled the group chat, it ultimately sparked serious conversations about privacy rights and community standards, encouraging residents to reflect on their own behaviors and attitudes toward one another. Following the HOA's ruling in favor of the fence and the subsequent ban imposed on Karen, both she and her neighbors faced a period of adjustment. As they navigated this new landscape, lessons emerged about empathy and collaboration that would shape future interactions. The community learned that addressing conflicts directly, rather than avoiding them or resorting to divisive tactics, could foster stronger relationships. In time, this experience brought residents closer together as they committed to creating a more harmonious environment. They embraced open dialogue, remembering that maintaining a peaceful neighborhood requires mutual respect and understanding. Ultimately, while tensions had flared temporarily, the journey through conflict became an opportunity for growth that would positively influence their lives for years to come.